The Ice Emperor needs to be Zane. Hello everyone, my name is One. Welcome back to the channel today. Now, this is a very important video. It's a bit of a freak accident because I don't like making these videos, but I think that this is an important enough topic that I'm going to cover it anyway. I'm going against the grain. I'm my own grain. My grain. Zane is an interesting character in the show. He's gone through a couple different developments. Now, there's been this sort of pattern in Ninjago for an incredibly long time. The characters tend to repeat their arcs a whole lot. Case in point, Lloyd. Almost every character in the show has been stuck on some kind of loop at one point or another. I don't understand this, and it's an entirely different subject, but for every time the ninja have to go up against a certain foe, they usually relearn the same lessons they'd learned 15 times beforehand. And with episode 16, something just magnificent is on the horizon. And today I'm going to be explaining why it literally has to be Zane, otherwise Ninjago is doomed. What is it that makes up a successful media brand? Is it the episode length? Is it the number of merchandise sales? Is it the overall construction of a plotline? Or is it the characters? Ninjago is all about character, and as I've stated a couple times before, it ironically doesn't always treat them the best. Ninjago has glimpses of absolute mastery of writing techniques that accentuate and allow for incredible amounts of character growth and plot development to coincide in some of the most buttery smooth plot lines that honestly have no right being produced through a LEGO medium. And other times, they have created incredible concepts and not followed through. Hirumi. When I watched episode 16, many things went through my mind. The first thing was, this is amazing. The second thing was, this is really good. And the third thing was, Zane's the Ice Emperor. Why am I so excited about the Ice chapter, you might be wondering. You might be thinking, why did I point it out? I'll spell it out simply. A very potent case of the character stagnation is Lloyd. He has gone through the same arc like 15 times at this point, and it's honestly, frankly, ridiculous. However, a little less accepted proposition is the fact that pretty much the entire cast is like this. They each have their defining trait, and maybe sometimes it's challenged, maybe sometimes it's put into conflict with something else, but most of the time, Zane's the
robot who does the funny jokes by not understanding the humors.
Jay's the funny guy, XD, Kai's an idiot, Nia is the powwow girl in charge who makes all the vehicles, Pixel is a literal piece of wood, Cole likes cake, and Lloyd is an important mess. And frankly, after like 11 seasons, it's gotten to a point where you can just pick up from a certain episode, and you could probably start somewhere between season 2, and then pick up halfway through Sons of Garmadon, and you'd have the same Lloyd arc to deal with. It's that bad. So, what is a surefire way to fix your characters, or fix the relationship that your audiences have with the characters so that it doesn't feel like they're all stuck in a temporal loop? Well, one thing they haven't tried yet is making someone evil. Now, I know I just completely annihilated any chance of this being viewed casually and not triggering some people, but please hear me out. It's true, okay? Ninjago does have a lot of flaws, but that's why you gotta fix them. And I think that Zane being the Ice Emperor is the icing on the cake to a very large baked good that will fix Ninjago's future. Now, I was adamant that I did not want Ninjago to continue after the Oni. I thought, there's your biggest threat, there's your highest climax, you can't go over than that, and they did, because I like money, that's just reality. So, the next best thing you can ask for is that the people that continue to watch after this point get good plot lines, actually can fall in love with these characters, and maybe they can fix some of the big outlying issues with them trying to make it SpongeBob meets Avatar. So how does this all link back to Zane? How does Zane save the Ninjago cast of characters? Well, it's rather simple. There's a theory that's been thrown about since literally the first leaks for Season 11 came out, and that was Zane is the Ice Emperor. This is nothing surprising to anyone who's been up to date in anything online Ninjago related in the last 7 months, I guess. In the case of the show, in the context of a show to brand new fans, why would Zane be the Ice Emperor? If we just take it all away, what does this episode set up that so wholeheartedly makes me believe that it's not only the right idea, but the literal thing that has to happen? Well, it all comes down basically to how the Nether Realm is portrayed. Ninjago realms have always been rather tame, so to speak. They've never really touched on any kind of temporal dissonance, They've never really elaborated on pretty much any of the cultures besides like Chima, and that was because it had an entire series dedicated to itself. A lot of the realms are just meh. The Nether Realm has a very interesting base to work on. The first Ninjutsu Master only visited once, and following a season where they pretty much butchered the entire lore, it's a wonderfully overdue break to just step out of his shadow for once. The Nether Realm is a very interesting concept, and one that, even on the surface, sounded interesting. When the ninja finally entered the realm and met the locals, there is so much potential. If you even want to, you can theorize why these people are even in the realm, right? If it's so far away, how can they live there? Then something fascinating. Something that just proved to me without a shadow of a doubt that this had potential. It was like there was like a reset button, right? Like a mini reset button, and a ninja have waded into a world that has nothing to do with them. They're treated by the people there as strangers, sure. But the way that they're referred to, like, you're beyond the forest, beyond the mountain, beyond the castle, or whatever it was, it was just such a simple change in addressal, made such a difference in the long run. This realm has new powers that aren't quantified under the first Ninjutsu Master, at least not yet. And then they just stood up to say, Zane's been captured. Now, they were being especially cryptic. I personally believe Zane is a prisoner, but not in a literal sense. It's metaphor. He's been trapped in this world that he's created. But someone else has been captured, and that's a stranger who's entered the realm. We will find out probably. This universe, this world that we're now stepped into, is completely unknown. Zane may have been there, he may have been sent, but time works differently, so he was sent, compared to, in this realm, he was dropped off, centuries ago, and he's become this Ice Emperor, twisted by the machinations of the realm, and sort of this false hope that the ninja are going to come for him, as he begins to erode mentally and physically into what we see on the throne, with Vex manipulating him. Either, the corrupt powers of forbidden spinjitzu. The reason why it's forbidden is because such power eventually always leads to ruin. And I think that it's a more metaphorical ruin, rather than a literal, if you touch the scroll, you're gonna go bad. So that would be really lame. But when you look at all of this in conjunction with how this world is being established, just the amount of potential here is unparalleled so far in Ninjago. They just needed to seriously step away from everything and just start basically again with the characters, with the way they've acted, everything like that. Now, obviously, it carries over from the Asphyra plot, but this is something it feels like the Asphyra plot was just a glorified build-up to this. This is the main event. We have each character they're put into a position where they can fully be utilized to their maximum extent. Each character in Ninjago has a personality, I suppose. And I said before, it repeats all the time. But here they have an excuse to just change it, to just completely alter everything. One thing I really didn't like about Hunted was that the Iron Baron and the rest of the people in that realm seemed to know about Ninjago in the first Ninjutsu Master, when, technically speaking, it was so long ago. Why would this random tribe of dragon hunters who spend day in and day out hunting and killing dragons know some random old Oni and dragon lore from imagined centuries ago? That never made sense to this one. I mean, that's an entirely different subject, but here we have everything is treated like it's organically grown in this realm. Ninja are the external force coming into this realm, and you just have these forces at play. You can hit the ninja against each other, not Kai picks up stuff, he's evil now, boy possessed by Mara. But Zane actually having a change of mentality, a personal set of experiences in this realm that changes him. And you can actually bring into party conflict. Perhaps even more than just Zane. Maybe it's some kind of vendetta, right? You twist Zane to this point of just complete desperation, and you have the other ninja who are torn on what to do. Zane's become this tyrannical overlord. What do they take him down? Do they leave him? What do they do? And you could have the team split up. As I said before, character growth, character interactions, and character motivations are just very all over the place with Ninjago. Prior to this, Kai, he's like Wood's older brother or something. He shoots fire. That is his entire character, his possession. Jay's the funny guy. Cole likes cake and is strong, but not too strong. Do you understand what I'm saying here? These characters have eroded over time. They haven't grown. They've devolved, and they're just now the 6 ninja. They're now the 6 ninja archetypes. Each of them might as well be their own cliche used all over the world, because they don't change. There is nothing about these characters that has changed in forever. Lloyd literally goes through the exact same process almost every single season. If Zane becomes the bad guy, just think about all the repercussions of this. Think about what you'll be forced to do, what they will be forced to change. You could build this up to something that alters everything, that just changes the way the ninja perceive just the world. And it would not be a stretch of the imagination at all. It would be completely logical. I just get so frustrated with looking at Ninjago and seeing how they just try so hard, but then they just give up before they even make it to where they want to go. With like Harumi and how she could have been the best character ever, but then she turned out one of the most ridiculous villains we've ever gotten. Navakam was so almost perfect for the revenge plot, but then it was just ripped out in the last second into some sociopath that just completely went against everything that had been built up on throughout the entire beginning of the season. I mean, Navakam's less extreme, he's not that bad, but you get my point, right? There's always been, even when it's good, there's always been something that they've just decided, we're not going to go all the way, or they've decided that it was okay enough the way it is. You know, it's either I do this now, it's either I explain this all in these small videos, or I make an entire deconstruction of the entire Ninjago series. Maybe I should do that. There are a lot of problems. So, you know, leave comments in this comment section below. I'm going to go and do more productive things with my time. So, video.